Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the community. Today's story is one about trust, betrayal, and the hard lessons we sometimes learn the hard way. It's a real journey through love, lies, and finding freedom after heartbreak. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get right into it. When Emma and I celebrated our third wedding anniversary, everything seemed perfectly smooth on the surface. We weren't in any rush to have children. The freedom of just being a couple without extra responsibilities was something we both cherished. We'd go on spontaneous weekend getaways, binge-watch movies late into the night, and simply enjoy doing whatever we pleased without anyone to answer to. It was our little world, and it felt safe and exciting at the same time. Emma was a whirlwind of energy. Her enthusiasm was infectious. She was witty, sharp-minded, and had just the right touch of recklessness that kept life far from boring. But there was one small thing I'd always noticed about her, something that never quite sat right with me. Whenever she tried to lie, she couldn't hold eye contact. I'd seen it early in our relationship, back when we were still dating. Her eyes would dart sideways, and she'd nervously fidget with her fingers as if searching for a way to escape the conversation. At first I thought it was harmless, even endearing, like having a built-in lie detector. Then that spring, Emma started bringing up the idea of taking a real vacation. She said work was overwhelming her, and she desperately needed a break, somewhere sunny, relaxing with beaches and cocktails. I wasn't too keen on the idea. I had a demanding project at work and wasn't ready to step away for 2 weeks. Plus, I'm more of a mountain or city person, not really into beaches. One evening, over dinner, Emma casually put down her fork and said, "Maybe I should just go without you this time." That caught me off guard. The thought of her out there, alone on some beach, going to bars, made my stomach twist. But then she smiled brightly and added, "I'll go with Lauren, just a girl's trip. Spa days, yoga on the beach, nothing wild. I promise." Lauren was Emma's best friend, recently divorced and still living like every weekend was spring break. I wasn't thrilled, but Emma looked so hopeful, so excited that I hesitated. I trusted her, and eventually I nodded. "All right, go blow off some steam," I joked. "Just don't end up on one of those reality shows about party disasters." She laughed, clinked her glass with mine, and we moved on. At the time, I thought agreeing was proof of how strong our relationship was. But looking back, it was a reminder of how easy it is to be blind when you trust someone completely. The night before Emma's trip, I helped her book her flights and even slipped her some extra cash for shopping or whatever she might need. She was buzzing with excitement, and honestly I felt good about it. We were two people who trusted each other. No questions, no doubts. Emma left early Wednesday morning. I dropped her off at the airport, kissed her goodbye, and told her to have fun. The first few days were normal. She kept texting, selfies of her feet in the sand, short videos of Lauren wiping out while surfing, and boomerangs of beach cocktails. She'd text me late at night. "Miss you, love. Wish you were here." I missed her more than I expected, and the house felt way too quiet without her. But around day 5 the messages slowed. No more videos, no more calls. I told myself she was just busy having fun, or maybe her phone didn't have good service. Still, a small knot began to form in my stomach. One night, around 11 p.m., I sent a quick "good night, babe" text. Hours passed with no reply until she finally responded. "Night. Super tired. Love you." It was short, distant. Nothing like her usual bubbly texts filled with emojis and jokes. The next morning I messaged her again. No answer. I called her at lunch, but it went straight to voicemail. I kept telling myself not to panic. Maybe Lauren was a handful. Maybe they were on some remote tour without cell reception. But that night, lying in bed, the unease grew heavier. When Emma finally messaged 2 days later, it was just a blurry photo of some market with the text, "Been busy. We'll catch up later. No miss you, no love you." I stared at my phone, the first real hint that something was wrong. That should have been my red flag. Instead, I talked myself down, convinced her return home would clear things up. Emma came back Sunday evening. I picked her up at the airport, standing near baggage claim, feeling a mix of relief and something I couldn't quite place. She looked fantastic. Tan, radiant, maybe a bit too radiant. She threw her arms around me, saying, "I missed you so much," squeezing me tight. I hugged her back, but it felt like hugging a stranger who smelled like my wife. On the drive home, she talked non-stop about the trip. The beaches, the food, late-night bonfires. She mentioned Lauren constantly. It almost sounded rehearsed, like she was reading from a script. At home, she dropped her suitcase with a sigh. "I'm dying for a shower," she said, heading upstairs. I lingered by her suitcase, hands in pockets. "Hold up," I said, half teasing. "You didn't come back empty-handed, did you?" She laughed a little too quickly. "Of course not." She knelt down to dig through her clothes. Then I caught a glimpse of something tucked between the ordinary stuff, lingerie. Bright colors, lace, expensive looking. Definitely not her style. I said nothing, just watched. She froze for a moment, her hand hovering over a small black bag hidden in the clothes. Then she handed me a bottle slowly, as if it might burn her fingers. "Got you some local rum," she said, smiling but with eyes that didn't quite meet mine. "Supposed to be amazing." I took the bottle, looked inside, and saw rum wrapped in a cheap souvenir t-shirt with a cartoon dolphin on it. "Thanks," I said, setting it down. She laughed too loudly, shoved the suitcase aside, and disappeared into the bathroom. Standing there with that silly bottle and shirt, I wondered, what had Emma really been doing when she stopped texting? The next few days I tried to push it aside. Emma acted like nothing was wrong, too normal. She cooked dinner, laughed at my bad jokes, even suggested movie nights like before. But the more she acted fine, the more I noticed the little changes. The growing distance. Her phone never left her side. She changed her lock screen password, and late-night texts came in that she quickly flipped face down when I entered the room. One evening, while she was in the shower, I spotted her phone on the counter. A name popped up. Brandon. The picture showed a tanned guy with a cocky grin, shirtless. I didn't recognize him. When Emma came out wrapped in a towel, I casually asked, "Who's Brandon?" Her body tensed for a moment, but she forced a laugh. "Oh, just some guy Lauren and I met on the island. He organized snorkeling tours." "Harmless," she said quickly. I kept it cool but said, "Right." She nodded, but something about it didn't sit right. "Harmless enough to text you at midnight," I added, trying to keep my voice light. Emma frowned. "You're reading too much into it, James." "Seriously." She kissed me on the cheek and disappeared into the bedroom. I stayed on the couch, staring at the ceiling, the unease growing like poison. The next day, while Emma ran errands, I scrolled through the resort's Instagram page. There were pictures of tourists and staff goofing around, videos of beach parties. Then I found it. A video of Emma dancing, laughing, drink in hand, with Brandon right next to her. His arm was draped over her shoulders, their faces so close it looked like they were about to kiss. The truth hit me all at once. This wasn't just a vacation for Emma. She had a whole other life when I wasn't there. That night, after dinner, Emma curled up on the couch, scrolling through her phone, pretending not to notice me watching her. I slammed my beer down. "We need to talk." She looked up, casual. "About what?" "Brandon," I said flatly. Her smile faltered, but she tried to stay calm. "I told you he's just some guy." "I saw the video," I said, voice low and cold. "The resort's page. You were all over him." She put her phone down slowly, her face going pale. "You're overreacting," she said tightly. "It was just dancing." I leaned forward. "You were 2 seconds away from kissing him." Silence. I waited for her to confess, to own it. Instead she said, "You're paranoid, James. You're making something out of nothing." There it was, the lie. No remorse for what she'd done, only regret she got caught. I stood up. "Pack your things." She blinked, confused. "What?" "Pack your things, Emma," I repeated. Her eyes filled with tears, but I didn't budge. She tried to talk her way out, but I wasn't listening. 15 minutes later, she was packing a bag, wiping her face with the back of her hand. Before leaving, she paused in the doorway, suitcase in hand. Mascara streaked down her cheeks. "It didn't mean anything," she whispered. I said nothing, just closed the door behind her and locked it. The house was eerily quiet. I sat for a long moment staring at the door, then turned off the porch light and went to bed. The next days were brutal. I didn't tell anyone at first, just worked and slept, trying to drown the pain. Then Lauren called, her voice low and uneasy. "James, I think you should know Emma isn't doing well." "Yeah," I said flatly. "Actions have consequences." Lauren hesitated. She went to a clinic. Wasn't feeling well. They did tests. I waited for the punchline. "She tested positive for an STD." Lauren added quickly. "She thought you should get tested too, just in case." A final blow. Even after everything, Emma left one more mess behind. I thanked Lauren, hung up and sat in silence, feeling a cold anger that had no edges. Just wait. I got tested the next morning. Thankfully I was clean. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers were filed. No drama, no fights. Emma didn't contest. I heard through a mutual friend that Emma had rented a tiny studio across town. She looked rough, thinner, quieter. The friend said Emma called it a stupid vacation fling, a mistake. Mistakes have a way of costing you everything. But I realized when someone burns your life down, it doesn't have to leave you shattered forever. After clearing the ashes, there's space to rebuild. 6 months after Emma left, the house felt like mine again. I repainted walls, got a new mattress, fresh sheets, a fresh start. I even took a real trip. Not a sad escape, to the mountains. Cold air, big skies. No one pretending beside me. I spent days hiking, nights where my phone didn't work, standing on cliffs looking down at the valley. I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. Emma tried to reach out once. A long, rambling email full of apologies and wishes to try again. I didn't reply. Deleted it without reading past the first line. A few weeks later I was at a barbecue. Lauren showed up with a new boyfriend. At some point, I pulled him aside and quietly told him what really happened on that trip. I didn't want to ruin their relationship, but Lauren planned more girls' trips. He deserved to know what those trips could really mean. He didn't say much, just nodded, sharp and grim. After that, I let it go. No revenge. No late-night rants. Just me living a better life than Emma threw away. Sometimes, when I think about how close I came to locking myself in that kind of life forever, I actually feel grateful. She gave me the greatest gift of all. She showed me who she really was. Before kids, before mortgages, before anniversaries piled up like landmines. It's better to bury the memories than bury yourself. Now, I sleep easier knowing the next time I fall in love, it'll be with someone who can look me in the eye. No matter what. Thanks so much for listening to my story. If it hit home or gave you something to think about, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any experiences you want to share. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Remember, sometimes the toughest endings lead to the strongest new beginnings. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.